It's strange how the quietest moments in life can echo the loudest inside us. I never imagined that silence could weigh more than words left unsaid. You live thinking there will be time to call, time to visit, time to say the things you've kept in your heart, until time decides otherwise, until the seat across from you is empty, not just for a night, but forever. This isn't just a story about death. It's about the invisible weight of words that never made it past your lips. It's about the ache of standing at a gravesite, whispering apologies into the wind. It's about the slow realization that some chances don't come again, no matter how much you wish for them. I've lived a long life, seen many seasons pass, and what lingers most are not the mistakes I made, but the words I never gave away when I had the chance. So this is not just a reflection, it's a confession, one that maybe, just maybe, you need to hear before it's too late for you too. I remember the day my brother left town. We had argued the night before over something small, petty, ridiculous. I can't even recall the details, but I remember the tension, the words we threw at each other, the door that closed a bit too hard. I thought, I'll call him next week. We'll sort it out. We always do. But the next week never came. He died in a car crash 3 days later. Just like that. My chance to say, I'm sorry, was gone. And all that remained was the last thing I ever said to him, a sentence soaked in frustration, not love. That regret, it doesn't fade. It just settles into the corners of your soul. Quietly, stubbornly, over time, you learn to live with it, like an ache in your bones before the rain. We grow up thinking apologies are for the weak, that if we say sorry, we're admitting fault. But that's not true. Real strength is saying, I'm sorry, even when your ego begs you not to, even when you're not the only one who was wrong, especially then. I wish I had learned that earlier. I wish I had said, I'm sorry I hurt you. Instead of waiting for him to say it first, I wish I had put the relationship above my need to win. Because you don't get a trophy for holding on to pride. You get silence, you get birthdays missed, you get an empty chair at Christmas and a voicemail you can't bear to delete. Now, I speak my apologies freely, not because I'm always wrong, but because I value peace more than pride, because every time I say I'm sorry, I soften the world a little, for myself, for them, for everyone still listening. And if you're holding on to something, anything, I hope this story nudges you to pick up the phone. Say the words, not for closure, but for connection. Because the only thing worse than being hurt is knowing you had the chance to heal something and didn't take it. There are moments I replay not because they were grand, but because they were quiet. Moments where someone I loved did something small, something beautiful, and I stayed silent. I watched my daughter walk into her first job interview, shoulders trembling, holding her breath. She didn't get the job. She came home with her eyes red, her voice barely above a whisper. I hugged her, made her tea, sat beside her, but I never said what I should have. I'm proud of you. Not for the outcome, not for succeeding, but for trying when she was scared. I saw my wife handle grief with grace when her mother passed. She cooked for everyone else, made sure the guests were cared for, held back her tears until the house was empty. I sat there and thought, she's amazing, but I never said it. Looking back now, I realize how many times I thought something kind and never voiced it, how many proud moments passed in silence. We think people know, we assume they understand, but no one is ever harmed by hearing it aloud. I'm proud of you. I regret holding those words back. I regret choosing efficiency over emotion, assuming my presence was enough. You see, presence matters, but so do words, especially when they come from someone whose opinion shapes how you see yourself. Tell them now, before you're left whispering it to a photo frame, hoping the words somehow find their way into the past. My mother made the same soup every Sunday for 30 years. No recipe, just instinct. I never asked her how she did it. I just showed up, ate, and left with a full stomach and an even fuller heart. But I never said thank you, not the way she deserved. I thanked her when it was expected. Birthdays, holidays, but I never stopped in the middle of an ordinary day to look her in the eyes and say, "Thank you for everything, for choosing to be here every day, for sacrificing the parts of your life I never saw, for loving me in 1,000 quiet ways I never understood until I became a parent myself." There are people in our lives who give quietly, who never ask for recognition, and because they don't demand it, we forget to offer it. I carry that now, the gratitude I never expressed, and sometimes I whisper it while washing dishes or walking in the garden, hoping that somewhere, somehow, the words reach her. Don't wait. Don't let gratitude become grief. Say thank you now. Even if it's awkward, even if you stumble over the words, even if you think they already know, say it anyway, because once they're gone, all the thank yous in the world won't fill the silence they leave behind. There are people we hold at a distance, not because we hate them, but because we haven't yet let go of what they did. My father and I stopped speaking for nearly 5 years, not because of a single event, but because of many small hurts that piled up like stones, heavy, sharp, and quietly destructive. We both thought time would fix it, that somehow, by ignoring the pain, it would vanish. But pain doesn't vanish. It burrows, it grows in silence. And by the time I was ready to speak, he was already sick. We had weeks, maybe less. I visited him in the hospital, held his hand, talked about the weather, sports, nothing real. Not once did I say, "I forgive you." Not for him, for me. Forgiveness isn't a gift you give the other person. It's a freedom you offer yourself. It's cutting the rope that keeps you tied to old wounds. I thought I was protecting myself by not forgiving, that holding on to my hurt meant I had power, but it only made me a prisoner of my own bitterness. I wish I had said, "I forgive you for not being the father I needed. I forgive you for your silence when I needed guidance. I forgive you for the ways you fell short, not because you didn't care, but because you didn't know how." Instead, I let him die with a wall still standing between us, one that didn't need to be there. If I could go back, I wouldn't wait for a perfect moment. I'd create one. I'd reach across the silence. I'd break first. Because sometimes, forgiveness isn't about who was right. It's about who's ready to heal. And if you're waiting for a sign to forgive someone, let this be it. One of the most overlooked kinds of love is understanding. We spend so much time trying to be heard. We forget how powerful it is to simply say, "I see you. I get it." I remember when my son told me he didn't want to take over the family business. He looked nervous, unsure, ready for an argument, and I gave him one. I told him he was making a mistake, that he was being ungrateful, that he didn't understand the sacrifice it took to build it. What I didn't say was what he needed most. "I understand." Not because I agreed, but because I could have chosen empathy over expectation. We forget that understanding someone doesn't mean you endorse their choices. It means you respect their journey. My son pursued music, struggled for years, slept on couches, played gigs no one came to, but he was alive in a way I never saw in him before. And by the time I realized it, he had stopped calling me, not because he didn't love me, but because he no longer felt safe to be himself with me. That broke me. I wish I had said, "I don't get it fully, but I want to help me understand." Instead, I let my disappointment drown out my compassion. And now, when we speak, it's formal, brief, a shell of what it could have been. If I could go back, I'd sit across from him and listen longer than I talk. I'd choose curiosity over correction. And I'd say, with all my heart, "I understand because I want to understand you." We often mistake needing someone as weakness, as if admitting we're not complete without them somehow diminishes our strength. But the truth is, I regret the times I pretended I was fine on my own. I regret the nights I sat in silence, aching for their presence, but saying nothing because I didn't want to seem dependent. There's a certain pride that comes with self-sufficiency. We wear it like armor. We think, if I need no one, I can't be hurt. but that armor also blocks connection. I think of my sister, fierce, independent. She never asked for help, and neither did I. We moved through life parallel, close, but not intimate. When she was diagnosed with cancer, I visited her often. We spoke about treatments, memories, even childhood jokes, but not once did I say, "I need you in my life." And when she passed, it hit me like a wave. I had lost someone who grounded me, who knew my history, who loved me unconditionally. I had never told her that her presence gave me strength I didn't know I drew from. If I could speak to her one more time, I'd take her hand and say, "I need you, not to do anything, not to fix anything, just to be here." Because needing someone isn't weakness. It's a form of deep love. It's saying, "Your life touches mine in ways I can't fully explain." Don't wait until someone is gone to realize how much of your peace came from their quiet existence beside you. Say it now. Say, "I need you," before silence replaces what could have been shared strength. Goodbye is one of the hardest words to say, especially when you think you'll always have more time. When my grandfather was in hospice, I visited him every day. We talked, laughed, sat in comfortable silence, but I kept waiting for the right moment to say goodbye. The moment when I'd feel ready, the moment that felt final. But the right moment never came. One night, I left his room with a simple, "See you tomorrow," and tomorrow never came. That night, he slipped away, peacefully, quietly, but without my goodbye. I told myself he knew that my presence, my visits, my love, those were enough. But a part of me still aches for that one last chance to say it out loud. Goodbye. Thank you. I'll carry you with me. We fear goodbyes because they force us to face the finality of things. But saying goodbye isn't giving up. It's honoring what was. It's saying, "You mattered, you shaped me, and even though you're leaving, your love stays." Now, when I sit with someone near the end, I don't wait. I say the words, even if they feel heavy, even if they come with tears. Because sometimes, goodbye is the greatest gift we can offer. A closing note to a symphony of moments, a soft landing before the silence. If you have someone in your life you need to say goodbye to, don't wait. Say it before it becomes something you whisper only in dreams. If you've made it this far, you already know. This video wasn't just about death. It was about presence, about love left unspoken, about truths we bury beneath routine, fear, and time. The deepest regrets aren't about what we did, they're about what we didn't do when we had the chance. The words we swallowed, the embraces we delayed, the emotions we dimmed because we thought tomorrow would come. But if life teaches us anything, it's this: there are no guarantees, there is only now. So if you're holding back a word, a gesture, a truth, don't wait. Call the person, write the letter, speak the love. Because someday, someone will sit where you are now, remembering you. And what you said or didn't say will echo in them for a lifetime. Let it be something beautiful. Let it be something true. Not everyone gets the chance to say goodbye, but we all have the chance to speak while we're still here. Use it. Use it like your life and theirs depends on it, because in many ways it does.